Welcome to the Foundation for Free Enterprise Education Speaker Series. My name is Michelle Warofka, and I'm excited to have Mr. James Kilgallon with me today. James is a claims delivery manager at Erie Insurance, a Fortune 500 company that is well known for their A-plus service in providing auto, home, business, and life insurance policies. They are headquartered in Erie, Pennsylvania, and operate in 12 states, as well as the District of Columbia, with more than 5,000 employees in 20 field offices. Today, Jim is going to share with us his important role at Erie Insurance and how Erie Insurance is way more than just policies and claims. Welcome, James. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Hi, Michelle, and what an honor to be here. Thank you so very much for having me.
It's our pleasure. Thank you. So if we could start out here and tell us exactly what it means to be a claims delivery manager. What are some of your roles and responsibilities?
Okay, so I work in learning and development. That's in the HR division of Erie Insurance. And I manage a team of trainers and consultants who help develop and deliver training to the claims division, which is roughly about half the company. So we work with our sponsors in the claims division to try to identify what the developmental and training needs are, whether it's for a new employee, new to role, or a tenured employee who's looking to advance their career. And we work with them to identify the training, create it, and then deliver it. Thus my title, Delivery Manager. I manage a team of delivery specialists who deliver training across our footprint.
Wow, fantastic. And now, being in the insurance industry, is this an area that you had always been interested in going into? If I may share with our audience here, you've been with Erie Insurance for, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's 12 years you've been with Erie Insurance. So, what brought you to the insurance industry?
Pure luck, actually. Never in my wildest dreams did I think I would work in the insurance industry. I have no regrets. If I could go back in time, I would do it all over again. I may even do it earlier. Back when I was 12 years old, I started out by getting a paper route. And every morning I would get up at 5 in the morning and peddle my papers throughout the neighborhood. And that actually led into a 21 career at the local newspaper here in Erie, Pennsylvania. And really, that was where I wanted to retire from. I did various jobs there and absolutely loved it. Loved it up until the day I decided to leave, which takes me to the next chapter of my career. Back in the mid-90s, there was something that, got invented, came out called the internet. And over the course of several years after that, into the early 2000s, the newspaper industry, revenue was shrinking because there was, people's habits and how they lived changed, how they got their news changed, how they advertised changed. And I was at a point in my life where I was young enough, I think, to start over, but yet old enough to be able to offer a new company, my expertise and learnings, and decided to make the jump. And I had a friend that worked at Erie Insurance and was just loving it there and said, hey, you should apply for this claims adjuster's job. And I was like, I don't know anything about claims adjusting. The only thing I knew about insurance before I actually started working at Erie Insurance was that I had to pay my premiums for my homeowner's policy and my auto policy. That's all I knew. But I was looking into the future. I had young children at home, and I really wanted to work in an industry that was solid, was growing, and would be growing for quite some time, and that people looked at as an employer of choice. So I applied, and in 2008, I became a claims adjuster. I handled auto liability claims, loved it. And then after that, progressed through some other positions, got into a leadership position at Erie Insurance, and then got into another leadership position, which led to this manager position. So that's kind of my story on getting into the insurance industry. I never, ever considered it before.
Wow, great story. And also, kind of proves to us that it's all about networking and who you know. It was a friend that you knew that kind of, led you through that door, which is fantastic. And here you are 12 years later. So fantastic.
Sometimes you need that, need to have someone on the inside sometimes just to be able to get you that extra look. Otherwise, you're a piece of paper or an electronic file, and it's hard to stand out. So.
Well, that's a great story. Thank you for sharing that with us. And
Thanks
if you would mind, maybe kind of take us back even before then, and maybe walk us through the journey that got you to where you are today. I know you shared with how you started out with a newspaper company and stuff, but even perhaps before then, when you were in high school and you're getting ready to graduate, what did you end up doing after high school? Where'd you go to college? What'd you major in that maybe helped you to get to where you are today?
So, yeah, I when I was in high school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. Well, I'll take that back. When I was really young, I wanted to be either a fireman or an astronaut. And neither of those worked out. So, I decided to go, when I went to college, to go into business management with a concentration on human resources. So I did that, and I worked at the newspaper starting in high school when I was 17 years old. And I worked through there. It helped, paid for my way through college. I ended up getting a bachelor's degree in business management from Penn State Barron College. So after college, I just continued on my career at the newspaper and progressed through different roles there. And that's kind of my backstory, I guess.
Yeah, that's great. Wonderful. And now, if you wouldn't mind, and I imagine there's probably a variety of different things that you love about your job and the various roles that you've had there at Erie Insurance, but what is it, James, that you enjoy most about your job and why?
So there's a couple different things. So one, I love the company that I work for. They are so vested in their employees. They want to make sure their employees are happy. So, I love Erie Insurance. I love their focus on the employees and not just the employees, but the agents and our customers. And somehow they bring them all together into this perfect balance where everybody benefits from the relationship. So first and foremost, I love the company I work for. And I feel very supported and cared for by them. Second, and maybe it's even a close first, is, what I love about my job is just helping people to develop into whatever they want to develop into, whether personally or with a focus on their career. Nothing makes me feel better about the job I do than seeing this employee and working with this employee and having them promote to that position or achieve whatever goal that they were trying to get to. It's not always about promoting to a different position. Sometimes it's a successful result on a project you're working on. Sometimes it's trying to earn that designation that you're working towards. So all those little things that, I love seeing, the aha moments when they're struggling with, a certain policy concept. And then all of a sudden the light bulb goes off and all of a sudden they're giving back to you and they're sharing their experiences and you're learning from them. That's what really energizes me.
Yeah, it sounds so rewarding. It really does.
It is.
And now let's kind of get into some nitty gritty here, if we may. We hear it in an insurance company. When people think, of an insurance company, they think it's all about, selling policies and, handling claims. But really, it's so much more. There are so many career opportunities really within the insurance industry. So if you wouldn't mind, James, if you could set us straight, myself included, and kind of give us some examples of some of those career opportunities within the insurance sector.
Absolutely. And I'll start just with what everybody, associates with insurance. It's the agents, the brokers, the sellings of the policy and matching people up with the correct policy they're supposed to have for their auto or motorcycle or home. But where the rubber meets the road really is once you sell that policy, you've sold a promise. And, we don't want our customers, our insureds, our policyholders to suffer a loss that would result in them having to submit a claim. But really, when that happens, we're there. And that's the promise, is to handle that claim for them and to look for coverage for them, to, and pay fairly, what we owe for their claim. But besides that, there are so many other careers, and I can go on and on. But not all careers at Erie Insurance require a college degree. There's several areas in insurance that don't, such as customer service and claims and other specialized trades. There's careers that do require some sort of college. Underwriting, actuarial. We have loss and risk control careers, accounting, communication, cybersecurity, finance, data, HR, which is where I work, information technology, law, marketing. I mean, I can go on. And it's really, if you think about it, it's everything, all those different positions and jobs really keep all the wheels turning so that, Erie Insurance can function at an optimal rate.
Right. Wow.
Lots of opportunities for people to consider. I mean, it's like I said, it's not just selling policies and handling claims, but those are great jobs also, but there's a ton of other jobs out there.
Wow, fantastic. That's great. And, and that is a great segue into my next question. And you kind of alluded to it a little bit earlier as well in your remarks, it's my understanding, and as you mentioned earlier, that the future outlook for the insurance industry it's growing and in high demand. So can you maybe tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, I can. And just put a little PSA out there. Erie Insurance does have, I think every year they bring on anywhere from 40 to 60 interns in all the different business areas of Erie Insurance. So, anybody is thinking about, looking for an internship, go to erieinsurance.com careers, and you can kind of view all the options that are there. But to answer your question, careers in insurance, I guess that's a good segue into this. Right now, there's approximately 2.3 million professionals who work in the insurance industry. 2.3 million. And here's an interesting figure. In 10 years, more than half are going to retire. So think about all those opportunities for in the future for those that are going to be looking for a job. It's just one industry that's going to continue growing. In the position of claims adjuster, demand for claims adjusters is expected to grow by 3% by 2022. So lots of opportunities out there.
No doubt. Something for our viewers to look into for sure. No doubt about it. And now, as I mentioned earlier, you've been with Erie Insurance again for 12 years. And throughout your tenure, you've continued your education and received several certifications and designations as a result. And in fact, most recently, if I may share with our audience here, you tested for your CIC certification, which is the Certified Insurance Counselor certification. So congratulations on that. That's exciting to take that. And
well, thank you. Fingers crossed that I pass the test. I'll find out in 4 to 6 weeks, but I'm excited.
Wonderful. I'm sure you did just fine. But if you wouldn't mind, to that point, James, if you wouldn't mind sharing with us and our viewers the importance of continuing education in order to stay current.
Yeah, they're in my opinion, and not just because I work in learning and development. I've always felt this. You have to continue to develop yourself, to challenge yourself, to better yourself. How do you make yourself stand out? I firmly believe that the first day you start a new job, you begin interviewing for your next job, whatever that is. And maybe this is the last job you'll ever want, but you don't, you may feel that way now, but you may change your mind later on. So, you begin interviewing for your next job the first day you start your new job. It's all about building your brand. And if you think about it, your brand is what really gets you your future opportunities to be on projects or to do stretch assignments or for advancement, for promotion, or even to another position they may be interested in. It's not always about promotion, but really it's about building your brand. And one of the many opportunities that Erie Insurance has for people to do that is through insurance industry courses. There's several other avenues. One way that I've explored a lot was through insurance industry courses. There's such partners such as like the National Alliance, that's who offers a certified insurance counselor, institutes of classes you can take and the tests you can take to try to obtain that designation. There's the Insurance Institutes of America. So you can try to go, you study, and these are self-paced learnings. You sign up, you get a book, and you study the book, you take practice tests, and then you schedule a test and you go to a testing site. But you can get such designations like your AIC, which is your Associate in Claims, or your AINS, Associate in General Insurance. There's a CPCU, which is a chartered property casualty underwriter designation. And, some of these, to get these designations, you have to take 4 or 5 different classes. So they're not easy, but boy, do you learn so much from them. And I'll throw this out there, and this is a no-brainer, but knowledge is never wasted. You may study something and you take the test and you remember it, and you may forget it, but it might come up 4 or 5 years later. You're working on something, and you remember it. So, it's hard to forget something. It's more about the recalling it at the right time. And, so it's, definitely, build your brand, better your brand, develop yourself, and look for every opportunity, because that's really, what sets yourself apart from someone else. So, like I said, not just because I'm working learning and development that I'm saying this, but I think it's good sound advice.
Absolutely. Great advice, actually. And now, if you wouldn't mind telling us, James, what are some skills or maybe even talents, qualities, that someone must, possess or, to excel in the insurance industry?
So really it depends on the job that you do. I mean, obviously, if you're an actuarial, you definitely have to have that math degree. Mm-hmm. In customer service, you have to be able to have those soft skills to be able to meet, our customers' expectations. Really, across the board, you have to be flexible. You have to be well organized. And you really have to be able to adapt to change. I mean, that's probably the biggest thing all the time, but even ever so more now. I mean, how we do our jobs changes year to year, month to month, sometimes day by day. The processes we use change. Even the technology continues to change. I remember when I started in the newspaper, we were sharing computers. In some cases, we were sharing telephones. And now everybody's walking around with their smartphone now. Everybody has a little mini computer in their hand. Even our customers' expectations continue to change. So in order for someone to succeed nowadays, you have to be well organized and flexible and willing to adapt to that change. If you think about it, people are creatures of habit. People, given the choice, will continue doing the same thing. They resist change. Mostly, not everyone, but change is scary, and people are always looking for that comfort zone. So in order to succeed and be successful, you really have to embrace change and really be the change maker, the change agent. It's better, in my opinion, to help. If you see a need for change, it's better to be the person who has a voice in what that change may be, other than someone who may be resisting and will have to just accept it for whatever it is. So, try to have a hand in shaping what that change, that enhancement may be.
More great advice. Great. Thank you so much, James. And now, before I let you go, I'm going to turn things here just a little bit, but I'd like to take a moment, if you don't mind, to briefly talk about your involvement in our foundation's, all of our programming, but especially our signature program that many of our viewers are familiar with, called Pennsylvania Free Enterprise Week. And if I could share with our group, you attended PFEW when you were in high school, yeah. And actually, within the last few years, have come back as a volunteer and served as one of our company advisors at one of our summer sessions. So, James, why was PFEW so important to you in high school that you took a week out of your summer to attend? And now, kind of fast forwarding to, why does it remain so important to you many years later, now as an adult, that you've returned to volunteer your time?
Well, I feel so blessed to be a part of the PFEW family, both as an alumnus, and also as a company advisor. I have to credit my parents for discovering this opportunity for me, because I was probably a normal teenager. I was just doing whatever teenagers did back then, and they were always looking for ways for me to challenge myself, to better myself. To really help me set myself apart from others. And they exposed me to it. And I was like, that sounds interesting. And the more I looked into it, I'll be honest, the first time they brought it up, I was like, I don't want to go. That's a whole week in the summer. No. But the more I looked into it and talked to them about it, it really sounded neat. So I was scared. I had been away from home before for whitewater rafting trips and stuff like that. But that was only like maybe 3 or 4 days. This was a whole week, and this was with strangers, people I didn't know. So I carpooled with some other local high school students that I didn't know, but were going to it. And this is 1988. And I'm going to guess most of the people that will be viewing this video weren't even born then. But 1988, I was an aspiring senior at Cathedral Preparatory High School. And I went, and I can't remember what week it was. Honestly, can't remember. But I went with these 3 other strangers, carpooled. We got there to the campus of Lock Haven University, and got in this room. By the way, Lock Haven University, no matter where you walk, you're walking uphill, I think. So it was great exercise, but I was tired. But I stayed in a dorm, and I remember my roommate. His name was Garth. And great roommate. And I was like, hey, great, I know someone. We're going to be, and we weren't on the same team. I was like, oh no. So my first person that I met there, I wasn't even going to be able to be in the same company with or team. So that first evening, Sunday evening, I think it was, and I got together with my company, and everybody's quiet. But by the end of that week, nobody wanted to leave. And what a rewarding experience. I wish we had the internet back then. I wish we could text each other. We had the social media, because I would love to say hi to them and connect with them again. Great friends. We had a great time. We didn't win. We did win management skills, so we were up there. But what a great experience. And I always remembered it, never forgot it. And then it was actually last spring or late winter, my company reached out to me and said, would you like to be a company advisor for PFEW? And my jaw dropped. I couldn't believe what was being asked of me. I almost became emotional because it was like a dream come true. I'd never, ever considered being a company advisor, and I don't know why. I guess it just got so busy with my family and my career and everything and just life. But I got drawn back in, and I signed up for this year. And this year, with COVID-19 became strange and didn't happen, but I'm signed up for next year, and I can't wait to get back with these young adults and the other company advisors and help them realize their potential and help them realize what a wonderful, rewarding program PFAW is, and that it will stick with them for the rest of their lives and help shape them to who they will become.
Wow. Well said. Thank you so much. And boy, are we ever thankful that your company approached you about coming and volunteering and being an advisor. So thank you. Thank you. And truly on behalf of myself and all of the staff here at our foundation, thank you. We can't say enough. And we so appreciate all that you and Erie Insurance do for our foundation as a whole. So thank you so much. And
thank you.
In addition to you volunteering your time to join us, I know Erie Insurance has been a long-time supporter of PFEW and all of our foundation programming. I know they've provided sponsorships for hundreds of students over the years. In fact, your CEO, Mr. Nicastro, was even a keynote speaker just a few summers ago at our program. So involved Erie Insurance is, and we are so very grateful once again to you and all that Erie Insurance does and the continued support that you give to our foundation. So thank you again.
My pleasure. So it's wonderful working with you and just helping to shape tomorrow's leaders. I mean, this is Pennsylvania, and we have 7 or 8 offices in Pennsylvania. So the more we can do to help develop today's youth, our young adults into tomorrow's future leaders, that not only does that help Erie Insurance out for bench strength to have people, high talented people to come into our positions, but just for the rest of Pennsylvania and even beyond Pennsylvania. So blessed, feel so blessed to be able to be a part of the program.
And likewise, we are as well to have you involved. And thank you so much for joining me here today, James. We really
my pleasure, my honor.
Yeah, we enjoyed the time here together, and learned all this wonderful information and insight into the insurance industry that you provided. So appreciate your wonderful information and advice that you've given us today.
Anytime.
All right. And finally, if our viewers have any follow-up questions for James, or if you'd like to connect with him directly, his contact information will follow at the conclusion. Thank you for watching.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Michelle.